What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. In today's video, we're going to take a quick look back at week 4, and then we're diving right into week 5. We have some crazy predictions for you guys, so definitely sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to J Roos Gaming. We got Connor here, 5th, 6th week in a row. Lost track, dude.
Week 5
coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Week 5. We did a week before, though. That's why I said week 5, 6.
We did. You're right. That's a good point.
So what's going on, everyone? Hopefully your fantasy football team did better than ours. We had big L's this week.
Big L's.
Big L's for sure. Well, let's start with your predictions. At the end of each podcast, we give 5 predictions, bold predictions.
Yeah.
We'll say there. So how did you do last week?
So I played 500 ball last week again, but I'm just above 500 on the season.
All right.
So I'm gonna take it as a win.
All right.
So for those who didn't listen last week, we break it down by position. So quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. I went Jared Goff over Joe Burrow. That was a win, baby, win. Running back, went with the hot hand. Went James Robinson over Najee Harris. Hurricane Ian had different. Well, the remnants of it had a little bit of a different.
It wasn't the hurricane. It was the Philadelphia Eagles.
It was part of the Philly.
A great defense.
It absolutely was. Like I'm not gonna I'm gonna give 10% of it to the rain, and I'm gonna give 90% of it to the Eagles. Over Najee Harris. Plus, Najee Harris had some work to do once Pickett came in, and Steelers looked like they played different offensive ball, which was great. Wide receivers, Amari Cooper over Debo. I had. That was a mistake.
Yeah,
shouldn't have bet against Debo.
Debo played out.
He really did. He really did. And I'm, here I am thinking that Jimmy G's an Ayuk guy. I was wrong.
Or a Kittle.
Or a Kittle guy.
More than 2 passes, Kittle.
But he wasn't. So, lost on that one. And then the other one that I wrapped up on was Hawkinson, DJ Hawkinson over Kyle Pitts.
It's like he was the only one playing.
He was the only one playing.
Unbelievable.
So my Lions guys were trustworthy. So 2 for 4, Goff and Hawkinson were my wins. Robinson and Amari Cooper were my losses. Shout out Najee Harris. Shout out Debo Samuel.
Lions-Seahawks game was the highest scoring game
so far,
last week. It was absolutely insane.
Love it.
So we'll get through some more of what happened last week as we talk about this week. In short, injuries.
A lot of injuries.
All over the place.
A lot of injuries.
Like, all over the place.
Yep.
If it didn't happen during the game, it might have happened before the game, like the Lions, where, Swift and St. Brown didn't play, may not play again. So
Kamara was another one. Real last-minute injury.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So going in, we shoot this earlier in the week, so some reports are simply not out yet. So a lot of the guys are still questionable as of right now. So leading up to Thursday Night Football, speaking of injuries, Williams here, ACL done for the season.
Hurts for everybody. Hurts for Williams, hurts for the Broncos, hurts for fantasy players. That's a really tough injury to swallow, especially with Melvin Gordon. I mean, Melvin Gordon, if you put him on probably 12 other teams in the NFL, is the clear #1 back, but he just has a hard time holding on to the football all of a sudden.
I don't know. All of a sudden is the key word.
Yeah.
He used to be your first round pick multiple years in a row, and then he just started. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's fumbling the ball a lot. JT too, not fumbling, but like just can't get it together this year.
Yeah, he also, I think they said he has some sort of high ankle injury. So, I mean, Thursday night game coming up, you might have to look elsewhere if you're a Taylor owner in fantasy, which, I mean, if Nyheim Hines, if you're in a 10-man league and Nyheim Hines is out there, always reliable.
True.
Like
Very
always
true.
A good receiving back to go out and get. But I don't know. I mean, to me, this is like a little bit of an interesting game because I think Denver, Denver's been Denver all year. Russell Wilson, I don't know.
I believe his offensive coordinator in a press conference, someone asked him, "What's wrong with Wilson?" He said, "He's not running. He's not running the ball. Wilson run the ball is what made him so good."
That's true.
And he did run the ball quite a bit last game. So I'm interested to see if he heard that and it's like, fine, you want me to run? I'll run.
Maybe he took over a little bit.
Right. So I'm interested to see what he does this Thursday night, prime time. If he does run again, I will be looking at Wilson for some of your weekly fantasy football pickups because he's going to be cheap. He's not throwing the ball like Allen does. And so if he's just starting to say, okay, fine, I'm going to run, you might be able to get an extra 40, 50 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
For a cheap guy, Russell Wilson might be my focus there.
You think the Colts are starting to pull it together for the season?
Nope.
No.
I don't. I think they're still confused. Confused. JT is not JT. I think that's actually hurting them. I don't know what they're gonna do.
You think Denver takes this game clear winner? I'm gonna go against you on this one. I think the Colts are gonna win.
Really?
Yeah, I think like the Colts, to me, with the win against the Chiefs, are gonna like show people that they're gonna win games they're not really supposed to win.
Okay, that's
and
fair.
that's sort of how I feel about this Denver game. Like I feel like it's too obvious that like Russell Wilson should go off, Melvin Gordon should hang on to the football. You know, like the Jerry Jeudy should have a big game.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking at this going, the Colts will probably win.
Interesting.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Interest for sure. Early on, Denver is -3 there. So it sounds like a lot of people are also with you. They should win, but not by a lot if they do. All right, let's go to the morning game.
Top of the morning.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Back across the pond in London, huh?
Yeah.
We have Giants versus the Packers.
We got a quarterback emergency in New York / New Jersey. And, you know, it's funny. I watched that game without audio. So to me, it looked as if Daniel Jones was pulled from the game. Tyrod Taylor went in, got hurt, and pulled him out. And then they lined up Saquon at quarterback for like 4 plays. And I was like, man, mad disrespect to Daniel Jones. And then I found out about 20 minutes later that Daniel Jones was hurt. So we have a little bit of a quarterback situation here. I think they said Davis Webb is going to be the guy to go to.
He's the one on roster, and then what, A.J. McCarron?
A.J. McCarron.
Bringing in?
Yeah, they worked out A.J. McCarron. They also worked out Jake Fromm, which I don't see that materializing into anything.
Wildcat Barkley all day. Direct snap to Barkley, let the man run.
It totally could happen.
Keep riders off the field, go for it.
Honestly, I mean, the Giants keep winning football games amongst every piece of adversity thrown at them. I know you and I, before we went live on this, we were talking about how Rodgers is starting to click with his rookies and Christian Watson and
Dobbs.
And Dobbs, yeah. And I just, in a weird way, man, I think the Giants are still going to win this ball game. Yeah.
Packers are -8. You're going like way against them.
I'm going way against it. I don't care who starts at quarterback. I don't care if Davis Webb starts at quarterback. I think Saquon is going to carry them all the way to the win. On this football game.
Saquon looks good. He looks good, really strong. So, listen, if there is going to be an upset this week, I can't have the Giants winning.
It's my upset alert. It has to be.
Okay, well,
I'm a big college guy, man. When I see big spreads like that, I got to go for the opposite guy.
Go the complete opposite. All right, that works. Listen, I hate to tell you, speaking about big spreads here, Buffalo's -14.
Yeah, I know.
Against your Steelers.
I know. All right, dude. Listen, man. It's
14.
It's Kenny Pickett's time. It's great.
Okay.
Should Kenny Pickett's first start be against the Buffalo Bills? Probably not. I gotta say that's probably gonna hurt everybody involved just a little bit.
So listen, if you're a stat guy, just you don't watch the games every week, you just go back on ESPN, wherever, look at the stats. Kenny Pickett are horrible.
He looks terrible if you look at stats. Yeah.
You watch that game, I'm like ready to go to war for that.
For sure.
Guy.
Yeah.
He is,
and they were.
Absolutely.
It was a whole different team when he came out there.
It was incredible. Yeah. I'm an Eagle fan. I was getting juiced up watching Kenny Pickett play. So I think he is your clear future.
Yeah.
He might have a couple rocky games for sure.
I think this will probably be one of them.
He's just going to go to battle.
Yeah.
And that's what Steeler Nation needs, I think. A guy that's just going to let's go. Let's go to work.
Yeah. I don't think this is going to be like a particularly good statistic game for him again. I don't think it'll be a good stat game for the receivers.
No.
I think it's probably going to be a decent game for Najee Harris.
I can see that, but I can also see Bill stacking the box too and saying, throw the ball.
Yeah.
Throw it for sure.
Yeah.
So it's interesting for sure. Listen, even the Bills offensively, they might run the ball a lot and not passing at all.
Yeah.
Figuring out, listen, we're just going to run the clock. There's no need to.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a high scoring game. Kenny's going to give us more opportunities for, to intercept the ball or fumble, whatever.
Should be good for Singletary owners.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think it's a good possibility to get some low cost players in that game for sure.
I think I don't know, man, look for Jaylen Warren too. He's running hard and it's only a matter of time before he gets a 10-20 yard run to the end zone. Maybe look for Jaylen Warren in this game, but I don't know. I would stay away from anybody, any pass catcher other than Pat Freiermuth. I think he's going to have to do a little heavy lifting just so Kenny can complete some passes. But again, I think it's going to be, if you look at the stat line, it's going to be a rough game. I think if you look at the actual attitude of the team, you're going to be like, all right, that's clearly the guy.
Yeah,
He's just facing one of the best teams in the NFL.
Absolutely.
What's he supposed to do?
Even with a banged up D. So,
yeah.
All right, next game, we have the Chargers versus the Browns. Interesting game here. If you ask me, I'm thinking Eckler / Nick Chubb here. Who has the better week?
Chubb, probably.
He's just a monster.
Yeah, he is. He runs hard. He puts his head down. It's an angry runner. I mean,
Eckler's what Javonte Williams I think could potentially be if he didn't get hurt.
I think so too. I don't know. It's hard for me to. I love Eckler. I think it's hard for me to look at what Nick Chubb is doing and bet against him.
I'm with you every time. So last season, Nick Chubb was the not boomer bust guy,
right?
But more of that than anything. Not consistent like he is this week, like 20 and 20 points, 20 points. Like you almost have to pick
so
him.
much.
It's unbelievable.
And it's smart. It's good on them that they're doing that.
No, for sure.
Now I think like there's a lot to be said because like Chubb's not going to catch a lot. Chubb's not going to catch as many passes as Eckler is, especially with Keenan Allen being out.
And he should be out again. Keenan Allen should be out. Well, as of right now, anyway, he's still questionable, or doubtful, I want to say. So I don't think he's going to be back again.
Little fun question for you, just to take a break from the running backs. Do you work out OBJ? If you're the Chargers.
I don't know if OBJ wants to work out with the Chargers.
I don't know if OBJ wants to work out with anybody.
I think OBJ is doing. How do I say this right? He is hanging out for 10 weeks,
until
working
the Rams
out
want him back,
until whoever the clear front runner is, and then go in there. Hey, pay me the vet minimum. I just want to play some ball.
He would have.
I think he's doing this on purpose.
He would have absolutely, had he not gotten hurt, won the Super Bowl MVP. And I think he just wants to taste that again.
I think
and
so
I think
too.
He wants to do it.
I think he's smart enough to know. Listen, I'm good enough. I could do this, but I can't do it for a full season anymore. So I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sign before the deadline's up with the best team.
Yeah.
Why not?
I could definitely see it happening.
Why? Until they stop me, until someone doesn't sign me, why not?
Listen, we're in week 5. That's only 5 weeks away. If he's available on the waiver wire and you got space for him, because there's a lot of injuries, so you got to fill the roster spot with somebody, maybe stash OBJ.
That's true. You do have bye weeks coming up too. So if you have majority of the wins, if you only have one loss or no losses, hey, you never know. Even Hopkins too. I'd be training for Hopkins if you have the space to stash a person. I think you and I both were talking before. We have guys that are hurt. So our benches.
I have 4 IR players right now.
4?
Yeah. That I just won't give up because we play in a quasi dynasty league, and I just can't. I don't have the heart to drop them. You know.
Can't.
So who wins this game? Chargers or Browns?
I think it's close. -3 is the line Chargers. Oh boy, my guts tell me Browns.
My gut tells me Chargers.
My guts. Why?
I don't know. I can't. Again, I feel like when it comes down to Herbert versus the Browns,
okay, that's
I just
fair.
feel like I got to go Herbert on that one, and that's just a gut feeling.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any real.
I think without Keenan Allen, I think the Chargers' run game is more of a passing run game, if that makes sense. Where the Browns will most likely have long drives, but get points on after every drive, even if it's just a field goal. So I think the Chargers go 0-3 more than the Browns.
Okay. Do you think Sony Michel or Kareem Hunt have any DFS fantasy value?
I would love to say Hunt does.
Okay.
But Chubb has been taking the bulk of it. And Hunt is unfortunately too expensive to just get 12 points. If you're going to do any type of damage, you're going to want to go and have, a running back that's almost 20, the 18 to 20 range. So Hunt is just not going to get you that. If he does, he broke through the line and ran for 50 yards. You know what I mean? When Chubb was, gassing for win there, So I don't know. That's where I'm at with that.
While we're talking about Hunt, in the hunt for a win or any sort of life, the Bears are facing the division rival Minnesota Vikings. What do you think, man? What do you see?
Well, I see a lot of injuries. Just the whole podcast is going to be a lot of injuries, straight up. Montgomery was banged up. He didn't play at all. Questionable coming in this week already. Cook over in London was banged up. short week.
Yeah.
So you had Herbert and Madison there both playing, getting Matt's actually a touchdown. Herbert, did he have a touchdown this week? No, last week he was like the leading rusher in the league. So this is where I would go for the value.
Okay.
Because these two are going to be cheaper compared to Hunt. So this is where I would say, okay, if there's going to be some good value, it's these two dudes.
Okay.
Personally.
Do you see any value in Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, anything?
No.
No.
There hasn't been.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Like not even one good game. Not enough targets.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
What about the other side of the ball? How about, like, you know, is this a game where you go pick Adam Thielen?
You know, Thielen's been getting some targets.
Yeah.
He's especially over in London, he got a lot of targets. I think he had a touchdown also. So I think a lot of people seen the Eagle game with the Vikings and how they shut down Jefferson.
Yeah.
So I think teams are literally just copying and pasting that and saying, okay, fine, we'll slow down Jefferson, we'll slow down the whole team. Thielen was the number one guy for a while there. And I think he's going to see some potential targets here. So yeah, that could be a great pickup. This game's, for me, I think there is going to be a player on one of these two teams that wins a lot of people some games this week.
Okay.
I do in the fantasy football world anyway.
Do you think, just sort of like jumping back to, you know, cards and stuff here, do you think Justin Fields is starting to show his true colors, or do you think he's got room for improvement?
I think the Bears need more help.
Okay.
Which would help Justin out.
Okay.
I don't think he's the one that's losing them the games.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. The line, real quick, before we move on, is -7.
Who are you taking?
Minnesota.
Taking Minnesota.
I'm taking the Vikings on that.
All right, man. So how about their division rival, Detroit Lions, going to New England, a third-string quarterback-led New England, coming off of the highest-scoring game in the NFL this year. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown still questionable. DeAndre Swift still questionable. That stuff didn't matter last week. They still dropped 45 points.
Yep.
So do they get the win? Logic would say they should get the win against the Patriots.
Logic should. They are the most exciting team.
Yeah.
1-3 team, I should say.
Yeah.
In the league right now.
And they should be 4-0.
They 100%. They should be. It's a fun team. I think this matchup's going to be, could Goff outsmart Belichick here? I think the defense has been pretty good. Even though the Pats have been losing games, the defense has been pretty decent. So that's going to be my big question coming into this game. If the studs are not there for the Lions, does Hockenson have still another big game? Does Williamson have another big game running back? Their rookie running back, right? I want to say from Bama.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a question. Do they have big games still, or did the Belichick slow them down? And listen, who knows what the quarterback situation would look like in New England there. No Mac, no Hoyer.
Billy Zapp again, I guess.
Bill's going to have to suit
Western Kentucky University legend.
Yeah.
Billy Zapp. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't...
We'll see.
I hope Detroit wins this game, only because, I mean, that team is playing with heart. The coach is coaching with heart.
They need a win.
He wears everything on his sleeve when they lose, and they are willing to run through a brick wall for the city of Detroit. They need a win, and I think if they lose to a third-string quarterback, I think it's going to change the dynamic of their entire season.
Here's the confusing thing. They're dogs here by 3. Patriots are -3 without clear starting quarterback.
That's shocking to me.
So if anything, the spread might be to like the go ahead here, and maybe miss out on the players because of all the injuries. But super interesting for sure. Another injury game coming up here. We have the Seahawks versus the Saints. Kamara was a last second out. I don't know if it was because it was the London game and just maybe something with travel.
I think it's those ribs. I think that injury is worse than people. I think the injury is worse than the team is letting set on, or maybe even worse than Kamara realized.
Maybe.
He's questionable again coming into this week. He was on the injury report today as questionable. I don't know, man. I have a hard time trusting New Orleans in this situation, and I think it's all a testament to how good Geno Smith is playing.
He's playing good. He's playing really well.
Yeah.
And if DK looked good, Penny's looking good.
Yeah, Penny finally stepped up, man, and that's like a thing people have been waiting for. And I don't know, like, you know, Jameis didn't play, Kamara didn't play. You have Dalton out there. You know, Dalton's a I mean, I'm a Steeler fan. I'm used to Andy Dalton. He's a very good, reliable quarterback. But I don't know. This New Orleans team doesn't seem like they have it. I'm not 100% convinced on Dennis Allen as a head coach, which is another thing. But I don't know. I think Seattle's playing. You and I started the season with a plan to pick on the Seattle Seahawks every week.
We would have got crushed.
And we got crushed in week 1 anyway, but we would have gotten continuously crushed. And a lot of that was on Geno Smith, and he has
a lot to prove.
He's been proving it.
I agree. It's fun to watch the team. It's fun to watch underdogs teams come out victorious.
Yeah.
Saints are -5.5 here early in the week. So
I'm taking Seattle. Taking Seattle all day.
You're taking a lot of underdogs today.
Yeah.
Interesting for sure. You have to do one of those. You ever see those on social media, those mass parlays where it's 5 to win $2 million, something like that. You should do something like
Definitely,
that.
I should do
something like that. All right, Dolphins versus the Jets. I don't think we've talked about one game that didn't have an injury yet.
Yeah.
Like for a star player.
Yep, and this one has arguably the biggest one.
Tua.
Yeah.
Already confirmed not playing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he should not have played last week.
No, not at
I
all.
don't care anyone says. I know it's a sensitive topic, so we'll be a little bit cautious about talking about it.
Yep.
But he should have not played at all. And
Not
I'm
at all.
thrilled that he is not playing in this division rival game. Anything to say about this one?
Yeah, man. I mean, Breece Hall's consistently good.
Mm-hmm.
He's, I think, ranked in ESPN Fantasy as like the 13th or 12th best running back in the league fantasy-wise.
He's actually ranked the best rookie so
Is
far,
he?
too.
Yeah.
Overall, fantasy-wise.
I mean, so I think that, he's a very good, consistent body if you're playing DFS. I don't know what his value is going to be coming into this week now that he's looking better and better.
And I think the confusion with Wilson coming back, too, kind of mixes it up. He had 4 weeks with Flacco, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know, they look good. They look good with Zach, and he really came to play, and I think he's really going to come to play here. No disrespect to Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, if you're going to have a backup quarterback, I think you want it to be Teddy Bridgewater in the league. But I don't know. I mean, the Jets look good under him. I mean, Corey Davis is a deep dive wide receiver. If you're playing DraftKings or whatever, that's probably where you're going to look. Garrett Wilson's another one.
Right.
Both tight ends got love. Ty Conklin and Uzomah got love.
Right.
I think Uzomah got a little more love than Conklin did, but I don't know. You're looking at a Jets team that's really ready to go. And then on the other side of the football, with Teddy Bridgewater being the starting quarterback, Raheem Mostert, he's a guy that's going to run hard and fast and find holes. So I think I got Raheem Mostert in as my flex ready. But the second I could do it, I locked him into my flex, and I'm ready to go and ready to go with him. So I don't know. I think you're going to see a little bit of a drop in the wide receivers. I don't think a lot. I think they just need to run the ball more.
Interesting, because the first thing I thought about here was Wilson and Teddy being cheap quarterbacks. So this might be one of those, DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever you do, where you go cheaper on your quarterback, but watching Wilson play, you could tell he was having fun out there.
Yeah.
Which I love seeing it.
Yeah.
I love seeing it, especially when a young quarterback. So that might be something I might try to tag team one of the receivers from Dolphins or Jets with Wilson or Teddy.
I like it.
It just has me with the injuries. So many injuries. You have a lot of next man up.
Yeah.
And those next men are going to be cheap.
Yeah.
They're going to be cheap. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So another team that dealing.
Taking the Jets here, by the way.
Are you taking the Jets?
Going Jets.
I kind of figured you were going underdogs. I didn't want to ask it, but I figured you were on Jets.
Going Jets here.
Going Jets. -3 is Miami, by the way. So the Bucks are almost at full roster. They had a ton of injuries. They're at home.
Yep.
Facing the Falcons here. The only thing I see here, I don't see Mariota. I say his respect having his job for the full season. I think the Falcons need to get the rookie in there.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah.
I don't know what that some point is. Is it after week 10? Is it
so.
before? I don't know, but if I'm the Falcons, I'm looking at a fast, young team. They're good for what it's worth. Let's get the rookie in there.
Yeah.
Mariota has to be the backup.
Yeah.
So what if you're agreeing with that? Well, it sounds like you are.
Yeah.
What week would you aim for?
Probably week 8 or 10.
Okay.
I think right now, let Mariota get through Tampa, and whatever happens, happens. I mean, Mariota's playing fair enough ball.
Fair enough.
That
right. We need a spark.
You need a spark
You
for
need a
sure,
spark.
and you should really get Ritter in there to be like, are you the guy? Like,
True.
let's pressure cook him and see
Preseason
what's
he
going
looked
on.
great. He
did.
I think I forget which preseason game it was, but he went off. Like my phone was blowing up. Like, yo, who is this guy? Who is this guy?
He should be. Him and Malik should both be really good quarterbacks in the NFL. So I don't know. I do agree with you. I don't think it's now. I don't think it's a mid-game switch in this game. I think it's week 8, week 10. They're not playing for playoffs.
No.
So they're playing for the future. So let Mariota do his thing. Cordarrelle Patterson hits the IR.
That's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt, but it's also gonna give Tyler Algier some time.
Yep.
So that's another move for the future.
Right.
So I think Atlanta's playing for the future. Tampa's gonna win this game.
They're -8.5.
Yeah.
Falcons, for what it's worth, they are 2-2.
They are.
They are 2-2, but I think they're not going to get another W this week.
I don't think so either.
So you mentioned Malik. Let's move on to the next game.
Yeah.
Malik is he's not technically, like, his team is facing. He's not going to be playing unless there's an injury. Titans versus the Commanders.
Yeah.
Burks is out too.
Burks is hurt.
Every single game.
And Jahan Dotson on the other side of the ball is hurt. But I think Jahan will play.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't look like that was going to be a serious long-term injury.
Yeah,
Burks looks like, though,
I think
he
he's
might
doubtful.
be out for a little bit.
I think he's doubtful.
So I don't know. I mean, you made a comment about Carson Wentz that I'll let you explain with a microphone in front of you.
He was Wentz started off hot. Like we do some best ball, and Wentz was the main reason why we were winning those best balls early on. The last couple of weeks he has not been impressive at all.
Yeah.
So now a lot of people were like, well, yeah, he's got lucky the first couple of weeks. I think he has a lot of targets there. So I think if you're watching Wentz week to week, I would watch this matchups because he's a guy that's going to be cheap every week, but he can score you 20, 30 points at any given time.
Yeah.
So this is something there I would look at key matchups, look at the DBs, the safeties, linebacker, whoever it is, watch the injury report if there's a rookie guy in there, whoever it is, because Wentz is going to be a cheap option every single week. I don't think this week he's going to have a big week. I just don't. I think there's going to be a lot of running action here. But the question I have for you is going back to Ritter there, last question, him over Mariota in week 8. When do you think Tannehill takes a seat?
I don't know. The Titans seem more steadfast in their decision making, and I feel like Tannehill's going to play this entire year no matter what.
Which I think is a mistake.
I also think it's a mistake. They're not even like they don't even have offensive packages where he's like included in yet, and I think they should. I don't really know what Tennessee's doing, and I haven't really understood what they've been doing since the AJ Brown trade. Burks, if he doesn't play, is going to probably just show more holes in that offense. And I don't know. One thing I'm going to say here, and it's just because of the quarterback situation and the running back situation with Burks hurt, I don't think you look to Bobby Trees, Robert Woods as like a guy that you should go out and DFS or a guy that you should trade for. I think his production will probably hurt because of it.
I do too.
So I don't know. Tennessee's a really tough team to really commentate on in general.
It's going to be an interesting game. This game is the spread right now. Titans -2.5. I don't know.
I actually have Washington winning this game.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too here. I think Derrick Henry, not that the man gets tired, but I don't think they don't have anything else to throw like Washington here.
I don't know. And back to the Derrick Henry point, they are asking a considerable amount of him.
A lot.
Week after week, year after year. And
help the man out.
Yeah.
Besides paying him, help him out.
And you traded away his only real help.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Last 1 o'clock games, and then there's 5 games left only. A lot of 1 o'clock games there was. A ton. Texans at the Jags. The Jags were up early on the Birds. Early last week, up 14-0. And then I think if the weather wasn't a thing, I think they might have scored another one here and there. But man, the Birds came back strong. And then the Texans, Pierce went off. Had himself a good game.
Someone had to.
But I remember looking over the stats of this game before we went live here. And you were asking, Cook's done anything. There's like no one on the Texans that done anything fantasy football wise.
Even Nico Collins, like there's like the reports every week that like Nico Collins leads Texans in receiving yards, and then
5.
It's like 50 yards.
Yeah, it's like
and he's
not
getting
impressive.
So it's tough. I mean, I don't. Again, that seems like it's the quarterback situation again. I don't know if Mills has.
I don't think he has the arm strength, the physical talent. Listen, they're 0-3-1. Are they the worst? I think they're the worst team in the NFL right now. I think every other team at least has one. Yes. Yeah. Every other team has one win. So the Texans are literally the worst team.
Yeah.
It's tough right now. Just tough to see any type of value here. The only value I would see if you're in a dynasty league and you could tag Pierce late, but then again, are they going to be much better next year?
I don't know. I actually stand on the opposite side of that. I don't think Pierce is going to be a reliable, even from here on out. I don't think Pierce will be a reliable week-to-week guy. Yeah. I just think that the odds are stacked against him. Very rarely do people in his position rise to the top, and I'm not saying that he can't. I'm just saying statistically, it's probably going to be difficult. I think Jacksonville wins this.
They should
easily.
The spread is -7. You taking the spread?
Yeah,
I think so. Too.
Yeah,
I think it should be a double, 2 touchdown plus game. Yeah. Especially after last. Listen, Jags hung in there. They were beating Philly.
Yeah,
at Philly. Early.
The Jags have a lot of weapons that I feel like if you put on the Broncos or if you put on the Steelers, wouldn't be considered weapons. But like Christian Kirk has stepped up.
Oh,
the running backs, both running backs have stepped up. Trevor Lawrence has stepped up.
The team's good.
Doug Peterson has stepped up. Evan Ingram has stepped up. Like there are people on this offense in Jacksonville that are really bringing this team to the next level, and they're buying into Peterson's system, which is also important.
Yeah.
So I think Jacksonville gets back on track here.
I think this is going to be a flex game for them.
Yeah. All
right, that's it for the 1 o'clock games. We have 3 4 o'clock games. We had starting off with the 49ers and the Panthers.
I got a lot to say.
Go ahead.
I got a lot to say.
Go ahead.
So I'm a Baker lover, man. Boomer Sooner. Love Baker.
Get used to it. I think it's going to be done soon.
I know. So here's the thing, man. Carolina really is not operating as an NFL team under Matt Rule.
Okay.
Wisconsin, the University of Wisconsin, fired their head coach Saturday after their game. My guess is that Matt Rule knows he's going to be the coach of Wisconsin next year.
Okay.
Wisconsin knows that Matt Rule is going to be the coach of Wisconsin next year.
All right.
The Carolina Panthers know that Matt Rule is going to be the coach of Wisconsin next year. And I think the Carolina Panthers are just trying to get through the year. Sam Darnold's hurt. Matt Corral's hurt. Baker's backup is P.J. Walker. You're not going to start P.J. Walker over Baker Mayfield. It's not going to be a thing you make. So I think Carolina is on cruise control the entire rest of the year.
That's fair.
It's a shame for Christian McCaffrey. It's a shame for DJ Moore. It's a shame for Baker Mayfield. It's a shame for that defense who, like, their one linebacker, I can't remember which one it was.
Thompson, right?
The other one. He had 15 tackles the other day. Like, they're playing hard.
Well, they're always on the field.
They're always, constantly. And they have guys that, like, if they just had some leadership, would be able to figure it out. But I think Carolina's on cruise control.
Crazy.
I have San Francisco taking this game. I know, and you even said they looked a little disjointed against the Rams, but they were disjointed enough to pull it off.
True.
Really on Debo's back. I think they're going to do the same thing here.
Just like last year.
Yeah.
If you're a Debo owner, I would say you could breathe.
Yeah.
Because I think you're going to see a repeat like last year.
I think so too. I would stay away. I'd stay away from Ayuk in this game. I would stay away from Robbie Anderson. I'd stay away from DJ Moore. CMC I would probably look for. But I don't know. I mean, it's a really tough, get Kittle involved again. But I don't know. This is like a really tough game because I just think Carolina's on cruise control.
Probably, which is you can always bet against them, which is nice.
Yeah.
We have a couple more games to go. I know we're running short on time, so we'll power through these last couple. Oh boy, the Cowboys.
Dak's out.
Dak is out
They're
because
playing the Rams at Los Angeles.
The excuse of Jerry was great because he can't grip the ball. This kind of goes back to what you were saying last week. You're still hurt, right?
Yeah.
You're still hurt,
Still hurt.
right?
Yeah.
I think Cooper Rush is going to be here until he loses a game.
I think so too.
I think that's what they said. Listen, keep playing. it's the game you lose, we're gonna put Dak back in there.
And I don't think this is the game he loses.
Nope, I don't think so either.
I think I do think CeeDee Lamb gets shut down by Jalen Ramsey, but I think Dallas still wins this game.
Cooper is keeping it simple.
Yeah,
which
and
I love.
the Rams' offensive line is Swiss cheese.
Yeah, no,
So-
I think they're washed.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Eagles, Cardinals, the Birds going at it.
Dude.
So which bird wins here?
So
the Eagles or Cardinals?
we got a Boomer Sooner matchup.
We do.
Here we got Jalen Hurts. We got Kyler Murray. I think Arizona is just getting by every week, and Philadelphia is like the Maserati that runs through the neighborhood. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles on this one.
The only thing I do too. The only thing first couple games, Eagles dominated. Jaguars, they were down early. They came back. So like Eagle fans, that's awesome. Love to see that. But we haven't faced the speed of Murray yet.
True.
So I'm really excited to see that matchup, how we do against them. Listen, if the Eagles come out victorious, you gotta be careful with the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think they could go very, very deep because they kind of faced it all.
Yeah.
Good receiver early with Jefferson, good overall team, Jags, like weather game.
Yeah.
So, and now if you could slow down Murray, I don't know too many teams that could beat them, being honest.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Sunday night, Bengals, Ravens.
It's a star-studded affair.
Or is it? There's a lot of big boy names for sure. Red carpet event.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see the 0-3 Bengals? Or are we gonna see like Super Bowl hopeful Bengals?
I don't know. I mean, the thing that we learned against the Dolphins is that Baltimore can't play defense.
True.
The other thing that we learned against the Dolphins is that Baltimore's offense is way better than anyone gave it credit for.
Well,
And
Lamar,
J.K.
Lamar
Dobbins,
is good.
Yeah, and
Lamar is good.
and Dobbins is back, which is also
Which
helpful.
helps Lamar not run the ball every play.
Yeah. So
But
I'm-
they're a one-trick pony though.
they are. I mean, I'm going Baltimore because the trick keeps working.
The trick keys were they are -3 by the way, -3.
Yeah. So I'm going Baltimore on this one, but T Higgins got hurt Thursday Night Football.
Mhm.
I would expect him to play.
A little bit longer a week, so I would think so too.
Yeah, I mean, I think from a fantasy perspective, any offensive player, even Duvernay, I don't know.
Love him.
I still think he's a guy that you're going to want to look for. T Higgins is a guy you're going to want to look for.
Mhm.
Jamar Chase is a guy you're going to want to look for. Mixon still. So I don't know. I think if you're going to look for a game where you could, get some points out of it, you're going to want to go to this game.
So you're thinking high scoring.
I think high scoring.
And
Yeah.
now we'll go to the other primetime, the last game of week 5, Monday night, Raiders at Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Think this is gonna be a shootout, or do you think? Listen, when the NFL script writers sat down, Raiders Chiefs gonna be awesome, Devonta Adams and all this. Raiders are tough to watch. 1-3 versus 3-1. Chiefs are -7 here at Arrowhead. What do you think?
I'm taking the Raiders.
No, you're not.
I am.
I'm
I
gonna leave
am.
this
I
room
am
right
taking
now.
the Raiders. I am.
I'm telling you, gotta build that. You gotta build that big
I will.
parlay.
I will-
You have
I will
to build
do
that
it.
parlay.
I have to.
Underdog parlay.
Underdog City this week, man. And just to top it off, I'm going Underdog City on the Raiders.
Wow.
Whether Renfro plays or not, Matt Collins is good. I think if Renfro plays, now that Carr realizes he can throw to Matt Collins and trust him,
Mhm.
I think the team's going to get stronger.
Okay.
They're a team that's disjointed. I have my own thoughts about Josh McDaniels as a head coach. I
Mhm.
always seem to pull back to him anytime
True.
there's a problem on a team that he coaches. But I don't know. I think this is definitely going to be a high scoring game. Kansas City just had a high scoring game with Tom Brady. Not comparing Carr to Tom Brady at all.
You
However,
just did.
Josh Jacobs is picking up finally.
He is.
Renfro could be back. Waller is still good. He's still Waller the baller. So I think
They're arguably more loaded
than the Chiefs on paper, for sure.
on paper.
But to the other point of that, Valdez Scantling seemingly emerging as the guy
Yeah.
for Mahomes.
Yeah.
But if you're playing DFS, anybody on the Chiefs is probably a good guy to go look for and to pick up. Whether it's Juju, whether it's MVS,
Mhm. The
Hilaire looks good.
Yeah, the only expensive one is Kelsey.
Kelsey, yeah.
That's it. Everyone
Hilaire
else is
looks
pretty
good. Even Pacheco, they're giving
Yep.
Pacheco looks in the end zone.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think that if you want to take some risks on your team,
low. Mm-hmm.
pick up some Kansas City guys. If you want to take a big risk, pick up Matt Collins.
Could definitely be the case there. Risky picking the Raiders. So listen, speaking of risky, let's go right to your bold predictions.
Going right to him, baby.
We don't have we're not doing the chart.
Fair.
Sure. I didn't like the way it looked.
Fair.
I didn't like the way it looked.
Fair.
So let's just go. Quarterback. What do you got?
Quarterback. I'm rolling with Jared Goff for a second week in a row.
Okay.
I'm going to go with him against
best
the Patriots.
1-3 team out there.
Yeah, best 1-3 team out there. I'm actually going to take him over Justin Herbert.
Over Herbert.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
interesting.
That's
going
gonna be
against
my
the
pick, man.
Browns.
Yeah.
My thoughts on that: Browns are probably going to run the ball a lot, so I
Mhm.
could see Herbert not having as much time.
Mm-hmm.
So could be interesting there.
Yeah. Now, I know Myles Garrett probably won't play.
Mm-hmm.
Also know that Jadeveon Clowney, I think, is a long-term injury still, but I
For
still
sure.
think that defense is good. And like you said, I think it's going to come down to game time.
This is
Come
fun.
down
I
to
try
time
not to
management.
know who you pick beforehand, so I could
like it.
blind,
I like it.
comment back
Yeah.
there. So I like it. I like it. So running back, go for it.
Running back, I'm going Raheem Mostert over Najee Harris.
You know, Mostert is, I think, technically the fastest one on the team. Hill says he is, but I think Mostert's
On
actually-
paper, it's Mostert.
right? On
Yeah,
paper,
on paper it is actually
They never
Mostert.
foot race. No
Yeah.
one will foot race each other.
No,
It's
no.
all talk.
Tyreek can't because his nickname is Cheetah, so he can't lose to Mostert.
Right.
So they're
Right.
just gonna let what's on paper
Yeah.
live and then just
That's
talk it out. I'm going Mostert here. I
Okay.
think that I have a lot of faith in Teddy Bridgewater. I think they're gonna have to run the ball more. Edmonds is gonna be a guy that he checks down to. Mostert's gonna be the guy that runs. I
Interesting.
think Najee Harris is gonna face an absolute brick wall in Buffalo.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Buffalo is banged up, but yeah.
Yeah.
I agree there. So I know Harris is getting up there in value.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I actually haven't checked the price of Harris this week now that Kenny Pickett is actually going to be the starter. So yeah, I could see that for sure. But listen, Teddy's played good. I think he might pass the ball a lot. Listen, Tyreek Hill had at least 10 catches.
Yeah.
So Waddle only had about 5.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So not too much for Waddle, but listen, I think it might be a passing game this week. Either way, for even me saying that, I think Mostert still beats out Harris.
I think so too.
So I think you're right on that. Okay, wide receiver, go for it.
Wide receiver. This is really not a battle of super underdog versus top ranked guy. It's really just me going. Christian Kirk is going to have a better game than CeeDee Lamb. Christian Kirk's playing the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
CeeDee Lamb's a guy that's getting 15 targets a game with Cooper Rush. I don't think Cooper Rush is going to have the availability with Jalen Ramsey. If Jalen Ramsey is the guy to cover CeeDee Lamb,
True.
I don't think he's going to be able to do that and to
True.
lean on him as much. So I think you're going to want to go Christian Kirk if you're looking for your high price guys and you're like, oh, which one do I want? I think you want Kirk versus the Texans.
I would, yeah. I honestly, you could even go one step further and say almost any Jag wide receiver. I'll double down.
It's fair.
Any Jaguar wide receiver
Over CD.
over CD.
Wow, I like that.
So it's the 2 Jones. We'll do the 3. The 2 Joneses, Jones Jr. and
Marvin Jones and Zay Jones.
Zay Jones. That's what it is. Zay Jones.
Yeah.
And then Kirk.
Yep.
All 3
Better than
individually
Wow.
have a better
Wow.
game than CD.
Wow. Marvin Jones
about
Jr.
that?
in there throws
about
me off
that?
a little, but I like
How
it.
about that?
I like
one?
it.
How about that one?
I can go with you on
Mark
Zay
that
Jones.
one down.
I'm gonna. I'm absolutely gonna.
bold.
Yeah, that is
That's
that
bold.
is a very bold prediction. But I like Zay. I like the Zay Jones pick.
Listen.
Marvin Jones scares me a little bit, but I like
Just
the Zay
roll
Jones.
with it. Just roll with it.
I do.
All right. Last one, tight ends. We'll wrap up the video.
By the sound of it, it sounds like I don't like Kyle Pitts. I actually love Kyle Pitts as a football player, but week after week I keep picking on him. I'm going Zach Ertz
Okay.
over Kyle Pitts. Zach Ertz is playing his old team.
You just keep copy and pasting that.
I
Those
really
two.
do. I do. You know what? Zach Ertz isn't getting enough love,
Okay.
and Pitts is getting too much love.
Too much love.
And I just want to be
Yeah,
here
but
week after
Pitts
week
is
to.
the young guy though. He's like the new
He
fancy car, man. You know what I mean? It
Yep.
just is what it is.
You know what, man? Ertz is like the Toyota Corolla that you put the race stripe on. You know, like he got that blonde hair. He's reliable. He'll go 200,000 miles. You know what I mean? Like
I get it.
that's
I
that's
get it.
how I feel about
Okay.
Ertz. You know, so
That's fair. That's fair. All right. I agree with basically everything. We're doubling down on the Jaguars game. So no, I'll have to really watch the Jaguar game. Great.
maybe a Jackson this week.
Absolutely. Have to be. Double down for sure. All right. Any last comments for the game before we sign off here?
Matt Canada, don't ruin Kenny Pickett.
Listen, I'm super excited for you. I think you're going to become or go back to being a true Steeler fan. I know last couple of weeks you were, actually even last season, you're more going to Arizona, excuse me. So, listen, he was fun to watch.
He was
fun to watch, and we do the cards. We had WWE event this weekend. We'll be back here. We do a lot of sport cards, and Kenny Pickett's going to be the one guy holding the 2022 product up. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Well, thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure you comment below. Make sure we're sane or crazy or whatever you think we are. Appreciate the support. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.